That's a good way, really, to start, because despite all of the heaviness of last night's interview and the seriousness and all the emotion, to say there was some great news that she's pregnant with a baby girl.
Yeah. Going to be a girl dad.
Yes.
I was going to say, though, that's where the good news ended for the royal family.
Yeah, I know.
Whatever they thought it was going to be, it felt like it was worse.
Well, that's the thing, Tony. I don't know what people thought, but nobody was expecting that. Nobody was expecting that. Here's another word to add to the list of how you described last night. We'll begin with there. Explosive. The explosive interview touched on so many issues, including race, mental health, and what appears to be a deep rift in the royal family. Prince Harry and Meghan were candid, quite candid and emotional as they spoke with Oprah in their first major interview together since stepping down from royal duties. But in order to tell what they say is a real story, the couple also had to address what they call is the false reporting of tabloid newspapers, starting with a widely reported rumor about Meghan, that she made her future sister-in-law, Kate Middleton, cry. That was a week of Harry and Meghan's wedding.
You say the narrative with Kate, it didn't happen. So specifically, did you make Kate cry?
No.
So where did that come from? Was there a situation where she might have cried or she could have cried?
No, the reverse happened.
You knew all along, and people around you knew that that wasn't true.
Everyone in the institution knew it wasn't true.
So why didn't somebody just say that?
It's a good question.
Speaking to Oprah, the Duchess of Sussex described a world that left her isolated and feeling trapped.
I remember so often people within the firm would say, well, you can't do this because it'll look like that. You can't, so even, can I go and have lunch with my friends? No, you're oversaturated, you're everywhere. And I said, I've left the house twice in 4 months. I'm everywhere, but I am nowhere. And from that standpoint, I continued to say to people, I know there's an obsession with how things look, but has anyone talked about how it feels? Because right now, I could not feel lonelier.
Loneliness, along with an onslaught of negative headlines that the palace would not refute and that Meghan Markle insists were false, led to thoughts of suicide.
I just didn't want to be alive anymore. And that was a very clear and real and frightening, constant thought. And I remember how he just cradled me, and I went to the institution, and I said that I needed to go somewhere to get help, and I was told that I couldn't, that it wouldn't be good for the institution. I share this because there are so many people who are afraid to voice that they need help. And I know personally how hard it is to not just voice it, but when you voice it, to be told no. But we had to go to this event, and I remember him saying, I don't think you can go. And I said, I can't be left alone.
Because you were afraid of what you might do to yourself?
And we went. And
I'm so sorry to hear that.
The couple also shared with Oprah that when they were expecting their son Archie, the palace brought up his title and security detail.
Those months when I was pregnant, all around this same time, so we have in tandem the conversation of he won't be given security, he's not going to be given a title, and also concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born.
What?
And
who is having that conversation with you? What?
So,
there is a conversation. Hold up.
There's
Stop
several
right now.
There's several conversations.
There's a conversation with you,
with Harry,
about how dark your baby is going to be?
Potentially, and what that would mean or look like. That was relayed to me from Harry.
Oprah asked Prince Harry about that discussion when he joined the interview.
What was that conversation?
That conversation I'm never going to share. But at the time it was awkward. I was a bit shocked.
Can you tell us what the question was?
No, I'm not comfortable sharing that.
They say it was that lack of support that ultimately led them to step away from royal life.
Do you think you would have left or ever stepped back were it not for Meghan?
No, the answer to your question is no.
You would not have.
I wouldn't have been able to, because I myself was trapped.
Please explain how you, Prince Harry, raised in a palace, in a life of privilege, literally a prince, how you were trapped.
Trapped within the system, like the rest of my family are. My father and my brother, they are trapped. They don't get to leave. And I have huge compassion for that.
Harry also revealed his family cut him off financially last year.
But I've got what my mum left me. And
Yeah.
without that, we would not have been able to do this.
Okay.
So, you know, touching back on what you were asking, what my mum would think of this, I think she saw it coming. And I certainly felt her presence throughout this whole process.
So much to unpack there. But let's start with this. If you or someone you know is seeking mental health resources, you can call the National Alliance on Mental Illness. There's a helpline at 1-800-950-6264. I'll say it again, 1-800-950-6264. In a real crisis, text NAMI, that's NAMI, to 741-741. But let's go back to Meghan for just a second. There were so many revelations there, and I think we should add the word brave, that she said, number one, you could tell Oprah was certainly caught off guard when she talked about having suicidal thoughts. That, to me, was also very new, and I got very choked up just listening to her explain how difficult it is to seek help and then to be told, no, there's nothing we can do. I thought it was brave of her to share that.
I thought it was interesting at that moment, too, that she kept referring to the monarchy as the institution. Which makes it sound impenetrable. And it appears, in many ways, it was.
And to help people understand how it was, I thought it was remarkable that she acknowledged she had to hand over her passport and her ID and she became part of the family. So when they say trapped, you're trapped. Think about that.
There's a part, I don't know if it was on the air last night, but even on her on Archie's birth certificate, it doesn't even say her name. You know, it says her Royal Highness or something like that, where she talks about her identity being stripped away. I think it was a real insight as to how it operates and what they were both dealing with.